In this video, I'll show you how to create Virtual Corpora at englishcorpora.org. Virtual Corpora are a subset of the entire corpus. Virtual Corpora can deal with particular topics such as Ukraine, ChatGPT, or solar energy. You can create Virtual Corpora in just a few seconds. At other websites, it often takes minutes or hours to create Virtual Corpora, but at englishcorpora.org, as mentioned, you can do it in just a few seconds. You can create Virtual Corpora either by keywords in the text or by metadata about the text in the corpus. Once you've created a virtual corpus, you can see keywords from the virtual corpus in just 2 or 3 seconds more. And of course, you can search within the virtual corpus for keywords in context, strings, collocates, and so on. In this video, I'll use examples from just the Now corpus, but it's important to realize that Virtual Corpora can be created in all of the corpora from englishcorpora.org. The Now corpus is composed of articles from newspapers and magazines on the web. Currently, as of February 2023, it has about 16.8 billion words from about 28 million texts, and more importantly, it grows by about 180 to 200 million words each month. In other words, the corpus is updated every single day, and so it's a great resource for looking at current topics and current events in English. Creating Virtual Corpora is very easy. First, I'll show you how to create a virtual corpus based on keywords in the text. For example, and both of these will deal with issues regarding Ukraine. Let's say that I want to create a virtual corpus dealing with Mariupol, a city in Ukraine that was attacked by Russia in 2022. I would just insert the word or phrase that I want to search for, click on Text, Virtual, Find Text. It then finds what it thinks are the best text for this particular keyword. And so I'll just call this my Mariupol corpus. And in just a few seconds, I've created a corpus with 100 texts, about 787,000 words. And I can change that. I can have a much larger corpus if I want. Besides searching for individual words, I can also search for a phrase, for example, solar energy, and it will find what it thinks are the best text for that particular keyword. But in this case, I'm just going to create a second virtual corpus dealing with HIMARS missile defense system, which is a missile defense system that the United States has given to Ukraine. So I just type in HIMARS. It finds what it thinks are the best text for this. I can deselect some of these. I can have more than 100 texts, but I'm just going to take the default here, and I'll call this HIMARS. And so in just a few seconds, we have a corpus with 137,000 words, 100 texts, dealing with that very narrow topic. In addition to creating a virtual corpus based on words or phrases in the text, I can also create a virtual corpus based on metadata about any of the text in the corpus. I'll click on Text, Virtual, Create Corpus. In this case, I'm going to search for texts that have Ukraine in the title, and not just somewhere in the text, but actually in the title. I'm going to limit this to texts from Great Britain during the first 2 months of the conflict, from February 24th, 2022 through March 10th, 2022. And when I do that, it now shows at least 1,000 texts. I could have it be even more if I want, but I'm just going to take these 1,000 texts from the first 2 weeks of the conflict with Ukraine in the title, and from the UK, I'll call this my Ukraine corpus. And I now have a corpus of about 700,000 words in 1,000 texts. Once I've created a virtual corpus, one of the most simple and quick things that I can do are to extract keywords from that virtual corpus. So for example, we created a Mariupol corpus dealing with that city, and these are the keywords. There are important steelworks there, artillery, bombardment, and so on. The HIMARS corpus that we created dealing with that particular missile defense system, these are the keywords. We can make the keyword list more or less specific if we want. And then, for example, with our Ukraine corpus, looking at text from the first 14 days of the conflict from the UK with Ukraine in the title. These are some of the keywords: shelling, invasion, oligarch, and so on. The idea of whether or not the oligarchs were going to support Putin early on was a big deal, and when we click on any of these words, it shows us the word in context, but only within the virtual corpus that we've created. So it's very, very simple to extract keywords for any of the virtual corpora. Once I've created a virtual corpus, I can then very easily and quickly search within that virtual corpus. So for example, if I want to get keyword and context lines for missiles, and I want to sort by words to the right, but I want to limit this just to the Ukraine virtual corpus that I've created, I can do that, and then all of the keyword and context lines will come just from that corpus that I have created. Two other quick examples of searching within a virtual corpus. I can, for example, search for civilian noun, and if I search the entire corpus, not just the virtual corpus that I've created, these are the results. But then if I want, I can limit it, for example, just to the Mariupol virtual corpus that I've created, and there are the results. And when I click on any of these, all of the hits come from just the virtual corpus that I've created. One other quick example, I could remember that I created the HIMARS virtual corpus for the HIMARS missile defense system. So I can look for collocates of missile in just the HIMARS corpus, virtual corpus that I've created, and I could find nouns near missile. So system, army, strike, precision, and so on. And again, when I click on any of these, I'm seeing results just from the HIMARS virtual corpus that I've created. In this video, we've talked about creating virtual corpora at EnglishCorpora.org. As we've seen, we can create virtual corpora in just a few seconds, either by keywords in the text. In this particular video, we've given examples dealing with Ukraine. We could use keywords such as Mariupol, HIMARS, but we can do it on virtually any topic, any keywords, ChatGPT, solar energy, soft drinks, anything at all. We can also create virtual corpora based on metadata about the text. For example, in the Now corpus, we could look at articles from a particular newspaper, or in the corpus of historical American English or early English Books Online, we could create a virtual corpus dealing with text by a particular author, or in the TV corpus, we could create a virtual corpus just from the episodes of a given TV series, or in the iWeb corpus, we could create virtual corpora based on the particular website. So the possibilities are endless. We can then see keywords from the virtual corpora in just 2 or 3 seconds more, and of course we can search within the virtual corpora. Keywords in context, strings, collocates, and so on. In this video we saw examples from the Now corpus dealing primarily with Ukraine, but again, virtual corpora are possible with any of the 17 corpora from EnglishCorpora.org. We did notice that in the case of the Now corpus, even though this corpus has 16.8 billion words and 28 million texts, it was still very, very fast and easy to create the corpora. So bottom line, at EnglishCorpora.org, creating and using virtual corpora are much easier, and it's much faster than at any other corpus website.